I'm Yoko, and welcome to year 22 of GalaxyClan, and I got sick, so this year got a little delayed, but the 2-year anniversary of when I got year 1 of GalaxyClan uploaded was on the 4th of this month. So that's amazing, and I am amazed at how far this series has come, and I love the community that we've made. Thank you everyone that watches my series. But with that said, GalaxyClan went to battle with JayClan this year, so I made a battle generator, which I will be linking below, and I made an animatic section based on what I rolled. I also did a very chaotic live stream where I designed a bunch of JayClan cats who may appear in the battle. So I'm going to be saying a bunch of JayClan cats by name, so don't worry if you don't recognize them if you haven't seen any streams before. But we're kind of going to jump around a lot. I had to cut a couple frames here and there because it got really big when I was drawing it and I didn't have time. But for now, let's get into the action. Blood warning for obvious reasons. Stone Star glared up at Blue Star, daring him without a word. Eventually, Blue Star called the attack, and JayClan warriors ran down from behind the rocks to begin the fight. Pebblejoy was caught off guard when Squirrel jumped and tackled her to the ground from above. Before she could get up, he gave her leg a nasty bite, and she ended up having to retreat the battle quickly. Meanwhile, Peatmane had Raven pinned, and he let her retreat after giving a decently bad claw wound, not being the type of cat to kill despite how upset he was at JayClan. He looked and saw that Hop could use some help where he was being cornered by Basil. Meanwhile, Zack cornered another warrior with rage in its eyes. It recognized the scent of tree fern as one of the cats present when its daughter Dahliapaw was murdered. Without hesitation, Zack went for the neck and looked down at the body of tree fern before returning back to the battle. At the same time, away from the battle, Draco and Raccoon Pelt were sent by Blue Star to try to raid GalaxyClan's camp and destroy their herbs while the battle was going on. Raccoon Pelt was anxious as he walked through the crystal caves, feeling like he was being watched. And Berrydew surprised him, swinging out from behind a crystal and yelling, "Ambush!" loudly. Draco called as his clanmate retreated, but Raccoon Pelt just yelled back not to underestimate Berrydew, and they were caught anyway, so they should just go back to the main fight. Draco looked back to see Snake Eye approaching, and in the face of 2 angry cats, he retreated as well. Back at the main battle, Gecko Dart was pinned near a cliffside by Hop Mallow, trying and failing to kick him off. Stone Star showed up, pulling Hop Mallow off her son. And in another fight, Midnight Lilac went for the neck on Sandlion after they made a negative comment about him having ViperClan blood. He bit to injure, not kill, and let them retreat. Contrasting that, Rookfern was cornered near a cliff by Adderstripe, who coldly stared at the cat, not saying anything. Air Dancer was passing by and looked over just as she saw Adderstripe smiling as Rookfern was falling off the cliff. She landed hard and died instantly. Adderstripe turned in surprise at the anger and ferocity that Air Dancer was charging her with. Rainbow Flare was distracted from their opponent when they noticed Adderstripe was in danger near a cliff. They quickly slashed Quillbelly a bit more harsh than intended and ran to assist their clanmate. In the chaos of battle, Turtlepelt looked up in regret as he was faced with his former apprentice, Wasp Mimic. He jumped down and growled at him as Turtlepelt begged him, saying that he can't fight him. As Turtlepelt tried to apologize for failing him as a mentor, Wasp Mimic's anger boiled and he snapped. He bit Turtlepelt's neck hard and let him fall lifeless to the ground. Red Noise was horrified at what her brother did and ran off the battlefield, leaving her opponent feather confused. Meanwhile, Blue Star was pushed towards a ledge while fighting a fierce fight, but Swansong suddenly stopped his attack. This was a too familiar sight for him. Blue Star saw his change in demeanor and prepared expecting this to be a bluff, but he was genuinely confused when Swansong just ran away. Suddenly, Oriole Chirp tried to get a hit in on Blue Star's blindside, but the leader dodged and quickly overpowered Oriole Chirp, pinning him down. He brought his claws up for a deadly strike when Stone Star tackled him off her warrior. As Oriole Chirp retreated, Stone Star turned to Blue Star and told him to call his warriors off before she made him. He taunted her, calling her clan weak cowards who retreat or need to be rescued in a fight. Stone Star was caught off guard as Amanda suddenly bit her throat hard. She fell to the ground trying to keep glaring at Blue Star and shaking as she tried to stand but couldn't. Amanda smirked down at Stone Star as Blue Star praised him, saying it's time to finish her off for good. But Blue Star was distracted at the sounds of his warriors shouting for him, and he was forced to suddenly call a retreat at the realization that they were outnumbered now. Ghost Snow had arrived to the battlefield, bringing along reinforcements from ViperClan. Freckleheart hissing that ViperClan is joining the war, and Blue Star better watch his back as JayClan retreated. The ViperClan cats then helped with support in the battle aftermath. But Stone Star's situation looked bad, and Todd was struggling to stop the bleeding from her wound. And you'll have to wait to see how that turned out. For now, there was actually some Dark Forest stuff that happened that I didn't have time to turn into a full animatic because battle. But I do basically have little short sneak peek animatics of like scenes of some stuff that happened that we'll mostly come back to later. So on to little mini animatics to see some stuff. Snipcloud was happily collapsed onto the ground as Hopefern called him reckless, asking what was he thinking running right into ViperClan territory just to give his daughter a life at her leadership ceremony. But he just ruffled her fur and said it turned out fine and he knew they'd be too busy and wouldn't want to ruin the ceremony to make a scene and attack him. Rennoise and Frostlycan both explained in surprise when they ran into each other. Frostlycan turned and said whoever she is, she really shouldn't be here, it's dangerous. And at the same time, Rennoise was trying to explain she doesn't want to be here, she just ends up here, please don't hurt her. Taking in Frostlycan's words, Rennoise looked up and noticed he was trying to avoid looking at her, and she hesitantly asked if she could stay here with him, if he wasn't dangerous, because she was kind of stuck here until she woke up. Frostlycan looked back with a wince and hesitantly said it was fine. Flamebear narrowed his eyes at his foe. The cat had attacked him after they found out that he was trying to meddle with the living again, and sadly succeeding. But he didn't hold back despite his foe being his own kin. Ospreyclaw grit her teeth, but she knew that her wound was too much, and despite her anger at Flamebear, she knew she had to retreat for now. And you'll get more info on that stuff later. For now, first up in Starclan is sadly Turtlepelt, who died at 78 moons old, and as you saw, he was killed by his former apprentice Wasp Mimic during the JayClan battle. And that event had a couple possibilities in the generator, so I'm really sad that this is the one we rolled. That being said, he died at the very beginning of the year, so there's really nothing to say. He'll never get together with Todd now, which makes me really sad because they really seem to like each other. And it is so sad that his own former apprentice killed him. But next up in Starclan is sadly Kale, who died at the impressive age of 168 moons old. She had wanted to get to know a new cat and clan that had a really rough past, probably providing therapy despite their semi-retired status, and was hanging out with their fellow elder Stargazer. The medicine cats seem to be looking at them a lot this year, with Cragskill wanting to speak to him, and then Kale having a status of being grateful for Snake Eye's treatment. Kale was unfortunately found stiff and curled up in their nest one night after having died in their sleep. So I think the medicine cats were aware that Kale's time was sadly coming. But I'm always relieved to see when a cat dies of old age in GalaxyClan with how rare that seems to happen. I'm really gonna miss Kale, they were a great cat. Sadly, next up in Starclan is the newly named Scratchfleck. He got his warrior name the same moon that he died. He was troublesome and fairly clairvoyant, but I guess he couldn't see a certain mistake. But going back, he was always a bit of a handful with him not having time to listen to rules as a kid, and then itching to go as soon as he was apprenticed to Ghost Snow. On his first day out, his mentor took the lion's share of chasing out a dog, and Scratchpaw supported him home later. Scratchpaw was also then making fun of a 4-moon-old Kit for not being an apprentice yet, and he apparently snuck out because he was out wandering the territory too long and came back with frostbite, which I doubt Ghost Snow would have let happen. But on the moon before he died, he caught a rabbit that was sick. And the game said nothing happened, but the next moon, 4 cats died from eating tainted fresh kill, including Scratchfleck. So that was definitely from the rabbit, and very concerningly, on the moon that happened, Ospreyclaw had the status that she was cleaning a wound after a fight turned to bloodshed, and Flamebear had the status of fighting with another cat in the dark forest. So Flamebear definitely appeared and told Scratchfleck that the rabbit was fine. Scratchpaw probably thought that he was a Starclan cat and might have even seen Ghost Snow having moments of seeing Starclan cats too. Poor kid, probably felt special and proud that he could catch such a big piece of prey in such a harsh part of Leaf Bear. But yeah, Scratchfleck was tricked and 3 other cats died due to this. But next was the 19-moon-old Gulthorn, who was cold and a good storyteller, and I'm so sad we lost her because I was really rooting for her. She just joined the clan. And despite that, she had a really sad backstory, so I was really attached. She had bundled towards Pebblejoy and a new face in clan on a patrol and said that she had been training for days and was finally ready to join the clan. She was only 13 moons old when she joined, and her backstory in-game was that she fled from a cruel two-leg, so that's very upsetting. She missed prey a couple times, but she was really trying her best and seems to instantly connect with broken insert suffix. She had a lot of respect and platonic like for him, but also a slither of a crush, so I'm sad she died before we could see if that would go anywhere. I really feel like Gulthorn could have had so much more to her story, and I'm so sad she died. But next up is another new face, and was one of the cats that invited her. The 103-moon-old Comfrey Husk, who is a righteous, beloved kit-sitter and a good hunter. She was found abandoned on the Thunderpath by Midnight Lilac and Roostertail. And I wonder if she and Gulfor knew each other because they both had backstories involving bad two-legs in some way. But while she was in clan, she was actually pretty good. She saved Wishkeeper from being buried on a patrol. She had a pretty big mutual crush on another new face who you'll see later. And on one moon, she was judging another warrior from afar while that cat was watching the clan with a knowing gaze. So I kind of saw that as them being on their way to being gossipy elders. So I'm sad we'll never get that. But sadly, we have one more Tainted prey death to talk about, and this one hurts the most for me. Snake Eye died at 108 moons old, and I'm devastated. I'm also upset because the rabbit that poisoned her was caught because of Flame Bear. This is so unfair. I was going to let her retire soon. She was so close. But going back in time, Snake Eye defended camp during the battle, her having a good fighter skill and all. The other medicine cats were then sent as helpers on the battlefield for the injured cats. And after that, it kind of seemed like Snake Eye was having a slower year. She was still checking up on warriors and elders, seemed like mostly the elders, but she really was taking things easier compared to the other two medicine cats. I do think she was getting ready to retire, and I'm so upset she died this way of all ways. How dare Flame Bear be involved? The only worst death I could think for her specifically is if she was eaten by the mountain lion. I'm so upset. But yeah, this is the last death of the year, so let's head on to our living cats. Starting with Stone Star, who is now 122 moons old and down to 5 lives. During the battle, it seems she was doing a lot of support mostly, saving her son Gecko Dart and also Oriole Chirp from Blue Star. And she stood her ground facing against Blue Star and was sadly surprised by Amanda with a deadly bite. I do think her stamina might not have been the best at that point since she was running support throughout the battle. She refused to give up completely and still tried to glare until ViperClan arrived and JayClan retreated. Though after the battle, she did end up losing 2 lives from her wound. Also, I will say ViperClan coming to help was generated in my battle generator before playing ViperClan this year, but ViperClan declared war on JayClan in Game 2 when we played it, so this works out great. Towards the end of the war on GalaxyClan side, Stone Star was lingering on the JayClan border to see a certain cat when she wished she would be sleeping instead. And that was a discussion based on the fact that a JayClan cat had fallen into a pit trap on the GalaxyClan territory, and they got injured. Stone Star simply said they wouldn't have fallen if they didn't trespass. She stood her ground and eventually Blue Star called the war off. A victory on GalaxyClan's side, but was upset when Stone Star said it wasn't up to her to call off ViperClan, who JayClan was still at war with. After that, she saved a new face in clan from a dog, who she actually has a crush on. But then Stone Star lost a 3rd life this year when she was bit by a venomous spider. But yeah, can she please catch a break? She's doing her best to keep her clan safe, and honestly, she did great during the war to try to keep casualty as low as they could be. But moving on to her deputy, we still have Ghost Snow, and he is now 85 moons old, and he was sent to see if ViperClan would aid us during the battle. He did bring our allies, but he felt really guilty for not being here when he saw how injured his mom was. She said he did great, though. Later, Ren Noise messed up on a patrol, and Ghost Snow reassured her that she didn't need to worry. Though Ghost Snow also got caught in between a messy argument between 2 cats that he was kinda no use in helping. Sorry cats, Ghost Snow is not the best cat to sort out your complicated crush drama. Maybe go to someone who's not the Arrow Ace cat. He got Scratch Paws and Apprentice, and they were more of a pawful than his past ones, as talked about earlier. And Ghost Snow feels really guilty at his death. Beyond that, though, Ghost Snow saw the ViperClan deputy with an apprentice, and she encouraged the apprentice to quiz Ghost Snow, with Ghost Snow complimenting on how the young cat was progressing. I also sent Ghost Snow out on a massive patrol, and he ended up telling Scratchpaw, Rowanpaw, Ren Noise, Gecko Dart, and Rainbow Flare the story of Silver Pelt, apparently a legend of the cat that created the stars upon death, who decorates her pelt with the gleaming souls of fallen warriors to keep her company. But moving on to our medicine cats. Todd is now the head medicine cat at 64 moons old, and she doesn't really seem to be doing the best, and I think her and Turtle Pelt were closer to becoming mates than I realized, because his death in battle really kind of seems to have affected her. Also, Stone Star losing 2 lives. Todd was a battle medic in the fight, and it seems she was a bit more closed off afterwards. She also snapped when a new cat in clan tried to cheer her up on patrol of a water fight, Todd hissing at them, probably because it made her think of when Turtle Pelt did the same thing. She was seen touching noses with a ViperClan cat, which isn't surprising with how close these clans are right now. I don't think it's romantic, honestly, and if anything, she was probably talking to the medicine cat apprentice, since the head medicine cat in ViperClan doesn't seem to be doing that well. But as for Cragscale, she is now 36 moons old and became mates with the 40 moon old Pete Main. and she was the one to put her paw over his and announce it to the clan. She got Rosemary at the burial grounds with him earlier in the year, and she was there during his grieving period for Scrappy Cricket. Ignoring Peatmane for a little bit, Cragsgill also talked about mortality with Todd and finds it easy to talk to her. She was startled awake by a vivid dream on the same moon that she actually found 2 kittens and their deceased mom, bringing the 2 to be raised by the clan communally. She also later sensed Gusburst was nearby on the same moon that cats died due to the tainted prey, and got answers from a teary-eyed Scratchfleck before he died that Flamebear tricked him. Knowledge that she gave to Stone Star, and while it is very concerning Flamebear is acting up and sad to lose cats, it is kind of a relief that this was an outcome Scratchfleck didn't know would happen. But moving over to Peatmane, he injured a cat in the battle, but despite the anger he felt, he is a loving cat at the core and didn't do any permanent damage to anyone. He calmed down more throughout the year and was interested in getting to know Stone Star more. Right now, despite the current tragedies, Cragskull and Peatmane seem really happy with each other, and I think they're really cute. On to our mediator. Ice Dash is now 32 moons old and officially our only mediator now, since Kale has passed away. And she actually felt a sense of dread the moon before Kale died, so I'm pretty sure she knew it was coming. Ice Dash managed to smooth things over with the 2 Crush Drama cats that Ghost Snow couldn't help, at least to the point of them not fighting at that time. She also is wondering how Wishkeeper was doing, and he's doing pretty good this year, and Ice Dash is realizing he doesn't really need babysitting. She's proud of him. Ice Dash also traveled to Mossclan to discuss some recent border disputes, but no progress was made, sadly. Can't win everything. She's happy the JayClan war ended at least, and she has a new mediator friend in ViperClan again. But now onto our warriors, starting with a new face. Meet the wise 105 moon old Shammy, and yes, that is how you say that name. She's got helpful insight and is a great mediator, and she joined in the beginning of the year on a time skip. She was the cat observing the clan with Comfrey Husk and had a mutual crush on her, so I'm sad to see that ship sink. On a different note, she was telling Kits a thing or two about growing older, and she got an apprentice later. Lastly, let's talk about Stone Star. Shammy has a crush on her, and Stone Star likes her back. Guys, I think Stone Star likes ginger she-cats with blue eyes, gonna be honest. Stone Star saved her from a dog and also showed her a different way of pouncing that she was fond of. Shammy had a suggestion for the clan leader towards the end of the year, and in general, they seem like they have a potential of being a cute couple. Let Stone Star find some love again in old age. I'm down for that. But yeah, I do really like Shammy. She seems really calm and collected most of the time. The next face is both someone new to the clan and someone you guys may remember. The troublesome 90 moon old Marsh joined the clan after living as a kitty pet for a long time. And if you forgot, this is Cragsgill's dad, who had been mates with Rushwind. He's also a trans guy if you forgot that. Cragsgill is happy to have him join the clan, and he's happy to see her and proud of her as a medicine cat. Marsh literally just got here, so there's not too much to say about him, but in general, I'm just happy to have him here. But moving on, the poly hasn't had a furred litter, so they all get to be drawn together for once. We have the 79 moon old Bubbling Mark, the 74 moon old Oriole Chirp, and the 73 moon old Midnight Lilac. Sadly, Midnight Lilac's kitty pet mate, Chocolate Chip, has not joined the clan, but he definitely is still secretly seeing her and has even introduced her to the rest of the family. Bubbling Mark was seen touching noses with a kitty pet, Oriole Chirp's been wanting to explore beyond the borders, and their kits have had statuses that also imply they've met her. I think it's cute. Midnight Lilac injured a cat in battle and was faced again with his kin from ViperClan. With clan relations improving, it seems that he's reconnecting a bit more. Though sadly, 2 of his little brothers died in ViperClan due to the battles with JayClan. Side note, Midnight Lilac was the one to suggest pit traps on our territory in case of JayClan invading, as ViperClan has used them before, and it seems they specialize in them, considering how much damage the pit traps from ViperClan are doing the JayClan right now. But also, Midnight Lilac's big sister is now leader of ViperClan, and he's not the only one in the poly with kin in a position of power, because Bubbling Mark's sister is deputy in Mossclan, and the whole poly did have a nice conversation with Mossclan this year, which was cute. Bubbling Mark has also been giving advice to Berrydew and told a thrilling ghost story to her daughter Echo Whisper. She got catmint to wear from Hop, and her and Oriole Chirp actually chased a rogue out together. You know, casual bonding couple activities. Oriole Chirp tried to fight Blue Star in the battle and felt bad that he couldn't do more, since Stone Star ended up losing lives, but the rogue fight did help lift his confidence in himself again. They're all so proud of their kits, cheering loudly at their ceremonies, and they're sad to lose Scratchfleck, but they don't blame him for the mistake. Moving on to the 74 moon old Zack, it killed the JayClan cat Tree Fern in battle after recognizing He had the scent of one of the cats who was present at its daughter's murder. It was teary-eyed with joy, though, at its son's warrior ceremony, and then actually decided to wear Jay feathers of all things, which, wow, Zach, I can only take that as a taunt towards JayClan, especially after Zach killed one of them. It got ambushed by rogues out of Rainbow Flare and an apprentice, but managed to fight them off, and it's been working hard to prove its worth in the clan, with Oriole Chirp being impressed by its fighting skills. It also resisted eating prey on patrol, wanting to make sure Stargazer had prey, but it did steal a rabbit from Moss Clan too, so there's that. Moving on, we have the 63-moon-old Roostertail, who confessed to the now 57-moon-old Hop near the beginning of the year, and they became mates. And they apparently flow like two streams, intermingling without conflict or effort. Together in this, together in life, together always. And that was beautiful to read. But starting with Hop, he had to retreat in the JayClan battle after being helped by Peatmane. He was also saved from a dog by Swansong, which made Hop reevaluate his earlier thoughts of Swansong, actually coming to trust him a little more. Love to see it. Unfortunately, Hop also got frostbite this year when getting stuck in a storm with Oriole Chirp, but then he gave Bubbling Mark Catmint. As for Roostertail, he was attacked by a gang of rats and got scarred. He was also helping Berrydew with something despite kind of not liking him. And these two have been together for almost a whole year, and they've decided to start a family. In 2 moons, these guys have kits. They have a surrogate kitty pet named Burrow outside the clan right now who is expecting for them. So you guys will see what she looks like as the bio-parent of the kits in-game, but any traits will be a surprise. But look forward to seeing the actual litter next year. Moving on to the 54-moon-old Swansong, and he's actually become nervous now, which is very interesting to me. He had Blue Star cornered in the battle, but retreated after being reminded too much of Thunder Spirit. Later, he noticed the JayClan border marks were off and put the border lines exactly right, making sure that Berrydew and Red Noise didn't put a single whisker out of place, saying if JayClan had a problem, they could take it up with the entire clan. And then he just hasn't been having any breaks, I swear. He saved Pebblejoy from a landslide, saved Hop from a dog, led another large dog away on a solo patrol, called out a battle plan and covered Red Noise as they chased out a small dog. It kind of really seems like he's overcompensating to try to make up for the past, and I'm kind of worried that he's being a little reckless on purpose. He does still have a crush on Peatmane, but as you saw earlier, he became mates with Cragskill this year. And I have been sending Swansong out on a decent amount of solo patrols because I'm trying to see if he'll find a mate. But Swansong also got into an argument with an apprentice over something, and their mentor rudely reminded them to focus on their jobs, which was kind of funny to me. I wonder what they were arguing over. But yeah, Swansong seems to be trying to make up for the past and doing his best to help others, but I am a little worried about him mentally. He did want to talk to Ice Dash, so it seems that he's seeking out help, which is really good. But some of his more dangerous actions are kind of making me feel like he's being a little reckless. But yeah, that's Swansong. Moving on to the 34-moon-old Gecko Dart, and meet the confident 52-moon-old Jackdaw Slash, who is a den builder and a formidable fighter. She used to travel the world aimless and free until she found someone worth staying for, which would be Gecko Dart. He brought her to the clan and introduced her as his mate, and he couldn't even lay a paw on her during a training session where she teasingly whipped her tail along his throat, showing off her battle moves. Though also, I don't know if Gecko Dart is really that good at fighting. His mom Stone Star did have to come save him in the battle. Interestingly, Gecko Dart was seen arguing with a ViperClan cat, which is weird considering we're really friendly with them right now. Except for, like, maybe one of them who's a bit stinkier. Looking at the cat that attacked Wishkeeper last year. But Gecko Dart himself had previously smoothed over some things when they got in trouble for a little bit. So it's interesting that he's arguing. But as for Jackdaw Slash, she was the cat that splashed water on Todd during a patrol, and didn't really understand why she got so mad at that. Jackdaw Slash also has deputy goals already, and she's moving kind of fast, but she is dating the son of the leader and is a confident cat, so we'll have to see what she gets up to next year. These two have been together for a decent amount of time at this point. Next up is the 51-moon-old Pebblejoy. She was immediately injured in the battle and had to retreat, leading to her being worried that others were judging her. She was staring off into space on the moon that she got caught in a landslide, but luckily she was saved. She later organized a big training patrol with Wishkeeper, Golfor, and Peatmane and an apprentice, where she was doing a move that she made up, a coordinated attack intended to shove a warrior off to save an injured clanmate. She does have a good fighter trait, and it seems like she's good in training, but when it comes to actuality, it really seems she gets overwhelmed and runs from the fight. She also complimented a ViperClan patrol in their battle prowess, so she's had a lot of battle-related stuff happening this year. Next up is the 44-moon-old Chris Drizzle, Remember how last year he got rejected when he asked out the older at the time Roostertail? Well, this year Echo Whisper asked him out, which he rejected, and Rainbow Flare was being sassy, saying now Chris Drizzle knows exactly how Roostertail felt. And the two were then arguing on patrol where Ghost Snow felt really awkward because this was not his field of expertise, with Ice Dash having to smooth things over a little bit. Then Chris Drizzle got an apprentice, and then he got rejected when he asked out Berry Dew, who did not like him. And then he rejected Rainbow Flare despite them both liking each other, and Chris Drizzle, I swear, you are killing me here. Why does the game not want you to have a mate? He also put a mark in the wrong spot on the JayClan border by accident and got scarred. Apologizing for Ghost Snow for the diplomacy issue, this was after the war ended, so little concerning. But yeah, this boy is messy, I swear. How do you have so many relationship bars of cats and so many rejections surrounding you? But next is the 40-moon-old Rainbow Flare. During the battle, they injured a warrior to be free to go assist Adderstripe, who they saw was cornered near a cliff. As soon as the battle was over, they wanted to go see their mom, Snake Eye, who was happy they weren't injured. Her death later made them really sad, and Rainbow Flare is now the last descendant of the Branch Deer line, which is a little concerning for Bloodline's sake. They actually got an apprentice at the same time as Chris Drizzle, so I think Stone Star might have been trying to ship again. But unfortunately, it's Chris Drizzle, and you saw how it went when Rainbow Flare tried to ask him out. The two have decently high relationship bars, both platonic and romantic, so I'm kind of surprised the game said that Chris Drizzle rejected them. But oh well. Rainbow Flare's apprentice was having a hard time, but they reassured them with advice after a breakdown. Honestly, Rainbow Flare seems like a really good cat that's just kind of surrounded by a bunch of drama that they didn't sign up for. Next up is the 38-moon-old Berry Dew. He stayed in camp during the main battle and stayed waiting in case of a sneak attack, so he was prepared when JayClan cats actually did show up. And he's proud that he was able to help in the fight. He's also been hanging out with Ren Noise more this year, love seeing the kin getting closer together. Berry Dew organizing some hunting training with her, boosting both of their confidence in each other. And I think that was Berry Dew seeing if he'd be able to be a mentor properly. Ren Noise helping them out, showing that he could, and telling Stone Star. And the next moon, Berry Dew got an apprentice. He asked for help here and there, like getting Roostertail to help out during some hunting training, even though the two don't really like each other. But Berry Dew's doing good as a mentor. He was also kind of blindsided by Chris Drizzle asking him to be mates, and was not the nicest when rejecting him. And side note, Berry Dew's JayClan friend, Tiny Stripe, died this year during the JayClan Viper Clan war, sadly. He also didn't generate to make an appearance in the battle, so it seems Blue Star left his son out of the fight. But then again, his son didn't really like him, so, you know. Moving on, though. Adderstripe is 34 moons old now, and she killed a JayClan cat in the battle. And I will say this wasn't a cat like the one Zach killed. Rookfern wasn't present during a horrible event, and she actually was just kind of a sweet cat in general. So a little more concerned about Adderstripe pushing her off a cliff. Rainbow Flare saved her from an attacking JayClan warrior, and she told them later that she was fighting with a cat near the edge and they fell. She also stole a rabbit from JayClan and concerningly thinks that her brother Ghost Snow is doing a terrible job as deputy. I don't really see what he's doing wrong, but okay. She also doesn't like Gecko Dart's new mate, Jackdaw Slash, and has a decent dislike for Midnight Lilac and Stargazer of all cats. She messed up a move in training and mothered that mouse dung, with Ren Noise helping her back onto her paws with a smile. Adderstripe is a little concerning to me, and to be honest, I'm going to keep an eye on her. She's been kind of antagonistic, though she also did come out as being on the aromantic spectrum for something happier, specifically demi-romantic, but in universe, she might not know that she's demi-romantic herself, since she'd need to form a strong emotional connection to someone before a romantic one appears, and that hasn't happened so far, so for now, she probably just feels like romance isn't her thing, but we'll see if she ever gets a mate in the future. Moving on to the now 28-moon-old Wishkeeper, he started a bit rough by getting buried and needing to be saved by Comfrey Husk and Zach, but after that, he's been doing a lot better, to the point where he apparently was being admired by many clanmates for his recent feats, which in-game patrol-wise was mostly hunting. Apparently, he envies the deputy position, and he did get an apprentice this year, so now he's eligible. And during a time of stress on patrol involving a small dog, his focus shifted from the noise that was bugging him to making sure to comfort the upset apprentice, making sure the cat was okay, and then putting on his bow earmuffs while they waited for the dog situation to be settled. He wanted to focus on both his and the apprentice's comfort at the time. Though he was kind of blunt when he told Swansong and his apprentice to stop arguing like kittens on patrol. Wishkeeper tells it how it is. But yeah, overall, Wishkeeper's doing pretty good this year, and may or may not be closer to his kin in Viper Clan that he tried to talk to that one time he got attacked, since that kin is now a mediator. But we'll get to that in the other clan section. Moving on to the 28-moon-old Ren Noise, she's been busy. She panicked seeing her brother Wasp Mimic kill Turtlepelt in the battle and retreated. Later, she tried to show Ghost Snow a technique she was working on but didn't pull it off, and Ghost Snow reassured her that she'd meet her high standards soon enough. She then accidentally ended up in the Dark Forest again and ran into Frostlycan this time. After they both calmed down, he realized she didn't know how to leave, and they had a conversation where she vented about her brother and the fact that she keeps ending up here, and Frostlycan explained why he was here in the first place. Also admitting that her fangs kind of reminded him of Silkfur, the cat that manipulated him, but he told her that she has no control over that. She said if he was speaking the whole truth, then he didn't seem like a bad cat that deserved to be here. And she woke up after that. Reporting everything to Stonestar, who thanked her and was a little concerned that Ren Noise poofed into the Dark Forest again. As mentioned, she was hanging out for Uncle Berrydew more this year, which was really cute. She also wanted to get to know Echo Whisper more, so I sent them out together, and unfortunately they ran into a small dog and Echo Whisper got hurt. Might be a bit traumatic for Ren Noise, considering a small dog killed Micah Shatter. But Ren Noise visited the medicine den the next moon, so I think she was checking up on her, which was really cute. Especially since Ren Noise has a crush on Echo Whisper, which, speaking of, she's now 28 moons old, and she does like Ren Noise back, but not as much as she likes Chris Drizzle, who rejected her earlier this year. In his defense, in this case, Echo Whisper was really young when she asked him out. Age gap was a little icky. She later took a moment to appreciate some peace and quiet, and she does now have a leg scar from that small dog, but she's grateful Ren Noise visited her in the medicine cat den and doesn't feel annoyed or anything that she got hurt while she was out with her. It was also cute that Echo Whisper went on patrol with her mom and Bubbling Mark was telling her thrilling ghost stories and playfully teasing her. And side note, that MossClan cat that is her rude rival is still rude, and he made another GalaxyClan apprentice apparently cry this year. So that's unfortunate. But Echo Whisper seems to mostly be chilling this year despite the rejection and dog attack. Sad to lose her little brother Scratchfleck though. Next up is the 21-moon-old newly named Broken Stream, who is a childish, excellent teacher. He was told to stay in camp during the JayClan battle due to Stonestar not wanting to risk him getting hurt since his sister died to a JayClan cat. But he was made a warrior later and honored for his self-respect. He was apparently being very preoccupied with an important game of hide and seek, which I assume was with the kits at the time. Who knows, maybe it was with his parent. And he actually found a stuck upside down sheep that he brought meat and wool back from, along with Peat Mane and Wishkeeper, giving the wool to the elders in nursery, I assume. So in any future nursery pictures, I might have some wool mixed in with the moss. We'll see. I also might use the wool as accessories, maybe. And Broken Stream actually is crushing on Wishkeeper, which is interesting, and I wonder if that will go anywhere in the future. Sadly, his other crush had been Goalthorn, and she died, so we'll see if he has better luck with Wishkeeper. On to a new face. Meet the 14-moon-old loving Diva Pond, who is a great hunter and a good speaker. And she actually joined as Troublesome, which fit her name Diva better, but loving is very cute. She was abandoned on the Thunder Path at only 8 moons old and was found by Zack, Hop, and Shammy. Then getting apprenticed to Shammy, and getting embarrassed when she ran off hearing a cat just to have Shammy playfully laugh and explain that it was a towhee bird's call. Shammy told her not to feel bad, just learn. But Diva Paw was having a hard time keeping up with her training. Eventually, she was named Diva Pond and honored for her commitment. And I'm not saying she is related to Pond, our old mediator, but I wouldn't be surprised if Pond was on Stonestar's mind when she named her. They are very similar colored. She was also wearing a rainbow bow when she joined, so that's really cute. Another newly named warrior is the 14-moon-old Sleepy Fruit, who is shameless, a great kit sitter, and a good swimmer. As a kid, he wondered about the unknown, and he actually was a lonesome kid when he was apprenticed to Chris Drizzle. And they had a standoffish patrol at the MossClan border on his first day out. But that moon in MossClan, the warrior Cliff Splash was once again making one of our apprentices cry, so that explains why the patrol was tense. At one point, he was found napping in the warrior's den, so he's really living up to the sleepy part of his name. More than I expected him to. As well as getting into places he shouldn't be. And he became a warrior at 11 moons old. 2 moons before his siblings, and on the moon he became a warrior. He stole his siblings from their mentors and they hunted near Two Leg Place, which again makes me think that they definitely know/have met Midnight Lilac's other kitty pet mate, Chocolate Chip. Later, Sleepy Fruit ran across the ice with Ghost Snow and yelled at an eagle, confusing it into leaving the massive fish it caught, which sounds dangerous, honestly. Please be careful, guys. eagle, ice, so many things could go wrong there. And that was actually the same moon where Scratchpaw snuck out and caught the sick rabbit, and Sleepy Fruit really misses his partner in crime brother. He does still have his sister, at least, who is now the newly named Rowancaw, and is wise and a good speaker. She was an adventurous apprentice, so she did have a little bit of a rowdy phase in between polite and wise. And she got Rainbow Flare as a mentor, practicing fighting techniques with them on their first day out. She was ambushed by rogues of Rainbow Flare and Zack, and a moon later she messed up in training on a move that Rainbow Flare thought she mastered, running away to camp and being found sobbing that she'll never be a warrior. Rainbow Flare told her a secret that no one feels like a warrior, not even themselves, telling her not to be afraid and saying that you'll always feel like you, that's what GalaxyClan truly needs. Which cheered her up, and when she was named, Oriole Chirp said that he knows her foresight will lead her through anything. She's sad at Scratchfleck's death, but I hope she does better next year. For now, let's go meet our new apprentices, who are new to Clan. Starting with the 9-moon-old righteous Luckpaw, who splashes in puddles. She came out as Girlflux very recently, and by that I mean pretty much the end of the year, and is using a set of she, them, clover pronouns, with it fluctuating on how she feels by the day. By the way, Girlflux is being a gender where your feminine identity will fluctuate in intensity, to simplify it. They pretty much just came out, and they heard about how Rushwind used to use feathers as a pronoun checker, and is looking into something special for them to use. But beyond that, she was found as a kit by Cragscale and wished others would stop babying them. Also, Scratchpaw was making fun of her for not being an apprentice already when she was 4 moons old, so that's rude. They were apprenticed to Wishkeeper, and the two ended up having to wait in a tree after riling up a small dog, but as I said, Wishkeeper made sure they felt okay. I also think that maybe Ice Dash helped her figure out her identity, especially since Luckpaw and Ice Dash were both assigned male at birth. Luckpaw is also pretty good at catching fish, which is fun. I like to imagine she's on the hunt for a 4-leaf clover for a future accessory for when Luckpaw is feeling more like a Clover's Clover Self pronoun day. As for their brother, meet the strict Blizzard Paw, who's an active play fighter. And fun fact, since Luckpaw came out as Girlflux, Blizzard Paw is the only cat that's a boy who joined GalaxyClan this year. He was a daydreamer kit and wanted to be big someday, pretending to be the leader of his own clan, and he was excited when he was apprenticed to Berrydew, and while he did catch a rabbit on his first day out, he didn't realize he crossed the Moss Clan border, and he was embarrassed when he found out. He's a strict boy and feels bad for breaking a rule, and Berrydew praised him for the catch, but did balance out with a bit of a border lesson. He really likes Berrydew and doesn't mind when other cats help out here and there with his training in areas where Berrydew physically isn't able to. And he has high respect for his mentor, and I find these two really cute. But on to the last cat in GalaxyClan. We have no kits at the end of the year, so we're ending the GalaxyClan section at least with the 143-moon-old Stargazer. He seemed like he was really good friends with Kale before they passed, and I do wish they could have had them as elder friends for longer. Beyond that, he was giving advice to Red Noise, and seems like he has a high positive relationship with Swansong, so he really does seem to gravitate towards the cats who are struggling the most in Clan. He really does give vibes of like a wise old wizard dude. Though I will say he doesn't really like Adderstripe right now. Her attitude may not be the favorite of his. Sad that Snake Eye couldn't have joined Stargazer in the Elder's Den, but he seemed to be doing well at least. Now moving over to JayClan for a sec to check in on Wasp Mimic. He's now 28 moons old, and as you saw, he killed his former mentor Turtle Pelt in the battle. And going in order of what he got up to in JayClan, he drew blood while in training and coldly said it was an accident when he drew blood while training and coldly said it was an accident, and then he tried talking about his ancestors on patrol, but couldn't keep up in the rocky terrain, and possibly also remembered that side of his family is now the enemy clan. He really seemed to like Blue Star and impressed him by catching a ton of prey, being rewarded with an apprentice. But Wasp Mimic landed too hard the wrong way on the first day out with them, and he ended up needing support home by his apprentice. While he was in the medicine den, he was impressed hearing that his apprentice apparently let a dog out from the territory by herself. She did that twice, by the way. And then Blue Star died, and the new leader made Wasp Mimic the deputy for some reason. Why does the game keep generating the ex-GalaxyClan cats to be deputy whenever they join a clan? He had an odd gleam in his eye when he was promoted to deputy, and I'm a little worried about that. He was also wondering what it would be like if he was leader instead. He told warriors to not let intruders leave without a scar to remember them by, but he did take pity on a sick elder, bringing them to camp. The cats he's closest to in clan, relationship-wise, is actually mostly the elders, which I find really cute. And lastly, he went on a patrol with a medicine cat along with other warriors, and instead of helping them get herbs like they were asked to, he had the warriors hunt instead. He also has a crush on the cat Draco, who was one of the ones seen trying to raid the camp in the battle. But yeah, that's Wasp Mimic. Let's check out how the positions or power are doing. I cannot believe this dude is deputy now. Looking at our leaders, we have Stone Star. In Moss Clan, we have Thunderstar still, and he finally lost 1 life by getting struck by lightning of all things. And Moss Clan's been mostly dealing with their own internal drama, including yet another murder in the clan. So we're gonna focus on the other 2 clans because there's a lot right now. In JayClan, Blue Star was murdered by the Viper Clan leader, so we have Missile Star now. Blue Star seems to realize he was in over his head by the end, but unfortunately, not soon enough. He's still in the Dark Forest. Missile Star had a very concerning 9 lives ceremony, which included her ex-dead mate giving her a life while also seeing a vision of her covered in blood. She hasn't really been leading. She's either been grieving the dead Blue Star, who she had a crush on, or been injured, like, basically the entire year. One injury being something I missed on stream and only found out about when I was checking her scars and, like, the code and stuff. But her face scar is from her warrior raccoon pelt challenging her, and then she made his mate punish him? Missile Star, what? She also dislikes her son Kink Daisy, and in general, I'm a little concerned about her. And Viper Clan has been destroying JayClan in the war. Speaking of Viper Clan, Gardenia Star decided to retire as leader, and Freckle Star is now the new leader. Her dad, Snipcloud, gave her a life, as you saw, but she was not okay with the reveal that Viper Clan cats get their lives in the Dark Forest. And Viper Clan has been at war with JayClan for the entire year, eventually going even harder in the war after finding out JayClan had sent the Badgers, something that a Moss Clan cat actually told them. And an injured Freckle Star was actually the one to kill and take all of the remaining lives from Blue Star. She also lost 2 of her younger brothers this year, so that's sad. But moving on to the deputies, we still have Ghost Snow, and in Moss Clan, Snipdapple sadly died of yellow cough towards the end of the year. And I'm so sad because he was actually doing great, and he died on the same moon his mate announced that she was expecting kits. But Thunderstar chose Icy Pelt as his next deputy, and she's Bubbling Mark's sister, so that's fun. She kind of just got the position. In JayClan, we already went over Wasp Mimic, and as for Viper Clan, the new deputy is Spruce Shadow, and she's Freckle Star's mate. And she kind of seems to be a little insecure if she's doing a good job as deputy, and might feel a little self-conscious that others might be judging her since her mate is the leader. Medicine Cat time, we sadly lost Snake Eyes, so we have Todd and Cragskill in GalaxyClan now. In Moss Clan, we still have Tin Man and Goose Lotus, but Mouse Snout was murdered, so that's not good. Though the game likes to laugh at us because after losing Mouse Snout, we found Minnie as a healer. So there's that, we have Minnie Mouse now to replace our other mouse. JayClan-wise, Skip Fluff lost her dad and also seems to be zoning out a bit more this year, leaving a lot of the duties to the newly named Kink Daisy, who has been desperate for help. He still seems like such a sweet cat, and hopefully the new medicine cat, the compassionate Whisker, who just joined, can help him out, with the fact that he's really been wanting an extra set of paws. As for Viper Clan, sadly Storkrain died from injuries he got while saving his sister. Rattleflood from a JayClan attack. The current head medicine cat, Whisker, is kind of really old and needs to retire. He is not doing well and has been distracted with it affecting their work. His ex-JayClan mate, Jenny, was found dead at the Viper Clan border, so that might contribute to everything going on. But he does have an apprentice, Swishpaw, who wants to provide by healing and communicating, and she's been disappointed in Whisker's training, but in times in the medicine cat having clarity, Swishpaw has been really excited to learn. She also had a vision that she wanted to talk to him about twice, but that went nowhere, sadly. As for mediators, Kale sadly died, but Ice Dash is still here. In Moss Clan, there's no other mediators except Stinky Texture Stripe, and he's getting pretty old at this point. He also still hates Icy Pelt, who is now the deputy, so if he kills her at this point, now he's murdering the deputy, so really hoping that doesn't happen. JayClan still rejects therapy, and as for Viper Clan, Okraforn retired with their wife as the ex-Gardenia Star. Now Gardenia Fluff. They also have another baby. But there are 2 new mediators to take over. Gorsglare, who is the last living child of Freckle Star and Spruce Shadow, decided to become a mediator following in his siblings Don Burnix paw steps. And he was solving problems by starting them and trying to get a certain troublemaking cat in the clan to actually get some kind of consequences. In general, he seems to be a peacemaker though, and doesn't really like those that make rash decisions. Viper Clan also has Berry Chase, who is the brother to Swishpaw and was delighted to train as a mediator, He's a little rebellious boy who's been attempting to create peace and failing, but he's really trying his best. I kind of love him. And that's year 22 of GalaxyClan. Sorry for the delay this year, but yeah, JayClan is kind of the, oh no, if it isn't the consequences of my actions meme right now. Fun to finally trigger an ally clan coming to help in the battle generator, since I'm pretty sure I've had that as an option in the previous fights I've made, like Bug Clan could have come saved us at some point. Things like that. Stone Star has done a pretty good job standing strong in the face of her opponents. And there was some fun other stuff in the battle generator that didn't happen, so if you want to mess around and check that out, go ahead. And I've been looking for any statuses related to Stone Star wanting to retire, because if there's any GalaxyClan leader that feels like one that would try to step down, it's her. I do think she would be the cat to know when it's time to let other cats handle things. We did have stuff happening in the Dark Forest, but I hope you don't mind the little mini animatics. Holostar didn't do much this year. It seems like he's just kind of wandering around, not quite going for the hunt. No killing spree. I don't like that Flamebear is being involved with things though. Leave us alone, sir. Both Zack and Adderstripe also killed cats in JayClan, and that's a little concerning. And Wasp Mimic is proving GalaxyClan cats have main character powers whenever they move to new clans, I swear. Looking forward to the Rooster Hop kits, at least for something happy. And who knows, maybe next year will be the year that Chris Drizzle either doesn't get rejected or doesn't reject someone. I swear, he's just gonna end up bringing some random cat in from the outside the clan as a mate. Just watch my words. He's gonna reject everyone and then just bring some random cat. But yeah, it's been a wild ride for these 2 years in real life, and I'm excited for more shenanigans with these cats. I really love this series. But for now, thank you guys for watching. Check out all my links below, including the family tree, the Discord, my Redbubble, and any other socials. My commissions are open if you'd like to support me that way. And with that said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace!